Hello everybody, John from Chicago. Thank you for joining. Konnichiwa, minasan. John desu. Alright, today we are going to be folding a hummingbird. This is a neat model by Michael LaFosse. It's a short and sweet one, and it's very decorative. I like it a lot. You can create an origami flower and have this hummingbird sipping some of the nectar from that flower if you'd like. That's kind of the neat thing, is you can pair this up with a beautiful origami flower. I'm not going to be teaching how to fold a flower today, but we will be going over this really cool hummingbird, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to pick out some paper, and you can choose whatever color you want. I'm going to go with, let's see, color. I'm going to go with a blue color today. Everybody can pick out whatever color you want. And we'll go ahead and get started in step number 1. So we'll begin with the wrong side up, which is actually the white side. You take the white side up, and what you're going to do is fold it diagonally. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Fold this diagonally here, and I always like to line it up so it's nice and perfect up in the corner, and then hold it down, and then come down to the bottom right here, and then go all the way across. And then you go all the way across on the left side as well. Alright, so that completes the first step, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the second step. This model isn't that difficult. I'd say this is kind of easy to intermediate. So now we're going to go ahead and fold it over to the right side. Over to the right side, line it up, and go ahead and crease it all the way down. Okay, and next we're going to go to the next step. So that's an unfold, and then we're going to turn it over. Okay, and now we're gonna fold the bottom square corners to the middle of the top edge. Now the question here sometimes is, when you look at a diagram like this, you have to ask yourself, is this one piece of paper or 2 pieces of paper? So we'll go ahead and jump forward to step number 4, and you can see it's both sheets. So we'll take both of them, fold them all the way up to the top. Sometimes the instructions will tell you that. So now it says unfold the triangular top layer flap. Okay, so we're bringing that top one down. Next, move the triangular flap of the topmost layer up and beyond the top edge. Align the short horizontal crease from the base. So this is going to shift like this, kind of roll up. And then these lines, that line that you have there is going to line up with the top edge of the paper. So we will go ahead and do that. Get it to line up really nicely, and then go ahead and crease it down, just like that, and flatten it. Okay, so let's just fast forward here just to make sure we got the shape correct. Yes, we did. And then step 6 is to valley fold the bottom tip to this line right here. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. Fold that up and crease it down. Okay. Now, as you can see, we're doing the angle bisectors of this kind of square shape up here, and they're both coming into the center. So we're going to fold the one from the right over first, get it lined up so that it goes all the way along that edge. And sometimes the tricky part is getting the corner to line up perfectly. So take your time in the corner. And then once you find the center line all the way across, go ahead and crease it all the way down. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So these are going to be kind of like arms, and they're going to be kind of hugging each other, as you're going to notice. Get that paper to line all the way up. And crease it all the way down. Perfect. Okay, so this should lie parallel with the line here. Okay, so now we've got kind of like a sailboat shape. Okay, and now we're going to turn over from top to bottom. So it's going to turn over like this. Now we have a diamond. Now this is an interesting one. Okay, so you're going to valley fold and unfold the bottom left and right edges to the center crease, creating two short creases in the bottom corner. And you notice these creases, they don't go quite all the way up. So what's happening is these are stopping right about here, as you can see in the diagram. So we'll go ahead and as you turn around, you're going to notice that the paper opens up here. Okay, so what that means is that when you fold this, if you're not too careful, that paper will have a tendency to kind of pop itself out. So whenever you have a fold like that, what you want to do is you want to very carefully hold it down as you fold, so it's not going to twist and pull itself out. Now, sometimes it's not avoidable to get it to twist and roll when it's so small, but do your best here because this is going to become the beak. Okay? So stop about here and fold that all the way through. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Go ahead and fold it all the way, almost all the way there to the edge, and then unfold it. Okay, so as you can see, these are being unfolded. All right. Move on to step number 10. Step number 10 is using the vertical center crease to valley fold the model in half from left to right. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Left to right. So all the way through the center. So you're going to notice it's kind of a thick paper, but I've already made a mistake. So these are going to have to open up. Okay, so these wings are going to open up like this. Okay, that's why it says kind of look forward to the next step. And then you're going to crease it all the way down the center. All the way. And then we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, so it's going to be rotated and held like this. Okay. Now hopefully everybody's looks the same as this. And now what we're going to do is valley fold the bottom right edge to align with the horizontal top edge. So this edge right here is going to line up with the top horizontal edge. So if we fold it up, as you can see, that edge is going to go right up there to the top. Okay. Get that in place and go ahead and make the crease nice and firm. We're going to repeat behind. Okay, so we'll turn it over and we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. Get that crease in place and we'll take a look at the next step, which is unfold the front and back flaps. So we're just unfolding what we just did. So now we look like this. And now you can see we're doing an inside reverse fold for the front and the back flaps. And you're going to see there's already a crease in place. Actually, there's not. So you're going to see kind of the light shines behind the paper. There's already a line right here as a reference. Okay, that is going to be our mountain fold. Okay, so you're going to see this valley fold is going to stay there, and it's going to mountain fold itself around that square. So what I'm going to do is just kind of push it in and get it started. Okay, and and it's going to naturally follow. You're going to have to kind of push your finger in there and kind of push the paper out a little bit, allow it to go all the way up. And then what's going to happen is that the whole paper is going to go like this. It's going to shift up inside and go behind the wing. You see how that's being done? So it's going to be, you're going to get this going first, and then that valley fold is going to be reused, but it's going to swivel up and kind of create a reverse fold, and that's going to tuck inside and go all the way up. And then the wing comes down. Okay, so we're going to do that same thing on the back side. So we'll turn it over. First thing, we'll open it up a little bit. Find that edge. It's already there. It's kind of an easy one. Get it all the way down to the bottom. And then pivot the paper all the way up and put the wing down. Okay. Now it looks like this. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is step number 14. We're going to valley fold to align the bottom edges of the left side point to the folded front edge of the wing. So what that means is that this right here is going to be lining up with this here. So it's the whole piece of paper. If we can fast forward to the next step, you can see we're going to pivot right at this corner down here. And it's going to go up and line directly against this edge here. All right. Get it in there. And next, as you can see, we are doing a valley fold to get the pointed flap down. So you pivot at this corner right here. There's a corner right here we're going to pivot at. And then it's going to create, looks like a 90-degree angle. Might not be quite as much. Kind of coming down. Maybe not quite as much as a 90-degree angle, but that's going to be folding over as a valley fold. And that's creating the angle at which our hummingbird is going to be getting a drink. Okay, so this really depends on your interpretation. So if you want the hummingbird to be kind of going down further to take a drink, which I would like mine to be doing, I'm going to bring it down further. But let's just move forward here, and you can see there is a little triangle, as you can see here, that is being shown. So if we hold our paper to match what the diagram is showing, this is going up, we can compare. And you can see that this edge here is not exactly parallel with this edge here. If it was, this would come all the way down, like, actually not quite all the way. Just note the orientation. So as you can see, this is not exactly parallel with this one. It's pretty close, but it's actually pivoting a little bit up away from the parallel. So what I did was actually pretty nice. It matches what is shown in the diagrams. Okay? So I hope that makes sense for everybody. Again, if you do want your hummingbird pointing down a little bit more, you can make it more parallel. I'm going to do that a little bit myself. Okay, so my triangle in here is a little bit smaller now compared to what they're showing. Okay? Now what we're going to do is unfold the left point. So just go right back out like this. And we're going to valley fold the wings forward. And we're going to look ahead just to see what it looks like. So the whole wing is going over. The entire wing is going over to the left. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So fold it over. The whole wing is going right over to the right side. Just like that, we'll turn it back over to match. Okay, so now this next step looks complicated, but it really isn't that hard. So what we're doing is kind of splitting the wings, and let's take a look and see what references we have. So A. You can see A in the diagram here. That's what we're going to talk about first. Valley fold the bottom left edge of the wing to align with the vertical crease. Okay, so our vertical crease is right here. So all that's saying is that this is an angle bisector. Okay, so we're going to get this to go here, and it's going to go, this edge here is going to line up directly with this here, and it's going to make sure it comes all the way down to the bottom. Go ahead and get that started here. Get it put in place, and then go ahead and crease it to make the move. Okay? So I've done one. Again, that's an angle bisector. This left edge is going to line up with the vertical line. And then we're going to turn it over and do the same thing. Just like that. Okay, so now we've got that part done. Now B, inside reverse fold the tail. Okay, so inside reverse fold is bringing it down, but you can see there's some references here being mentioned. So a point on the top edge of the tail, the upper dot, should become aligned with the crease end that is indicated by the lower dot. Okay? So there should already be a crease in there. Now the challenge is finding that crease, and on mine it's on the other side. Okay, so it looks like I do have it on this side, but it's very, very difficult to see. Okay, but there is already a crease there, so I'm going to find that little corner. There's a little dot there, so we can mark it if you want with a pencil. Just get a little dot in there so you can see it. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your thumb inside the bottom, okay? And it's going to come all the way back here to the tip of the wings. And this is going to come down like this, inside reverse fold. And now you can see at this bottom part right here, you have the opportunity when you get this. Oops. So my paper is kind of expanding a little bit. So you get it started like this, and make sure it goes all the way into the corner. And this is going to line up, the bottom is going to line up with that dot. Okay, you can see now that small little dot, I'm lining it up. To go all the way back there. That's the hard part, because sometimes the paper will want to come out, so you want to keep it all the way back there as much as you can, and then get that paper down there to line up with that small little dot just right there for the tail. Okay, and then crease it down. Alright, a little bit of a tricky step. Hopefully everybody made it through that one. That's probably the hardest step, I'll have to say, with this model. We'll go ahead to step number 19. And step number 19, so we'll start with A on the left. We're using the existing creases to crimp the head into shape. So on the top, we're already going in the right direction. What we need to do on the other side is just reverse or change the direction of these folds. So this one here, instead of being a mountain fold, is now going to be a valley. And then once you do that valley fold, you can kind of hold the paper like this, and it will naturally find its position. Okay, so now the head is more or less done. That completes A. And now B. Valley fold each half of the tail down on the outside. So we're going up as far as we can go, and then it's coming here. So basically the entire tail is opening up. And it looks like the paper actually even goes behind the wing a little bit. But that's a little bit deceiving. it should just open up all the way like this. Okay? So all it is a simple valley fold. Valley fold that whole thing down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, which means just mountain fold it from this direction. Get that going like that. And there we go. So now our tail is pointing down. Okay, step 20. So now details for folding the neck and beak will be shown in close-up. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in here on the head and the beak. And as you can see, we're thinning the neck here. This is an important step. It gives our hummingbird a thinner neck. So we're going to go ahead up inside of here. You can see you can grab on the inside. And this is going to fold back behind. Okay? And go as deep as you can. You're going to fold all the way up. And this mountain fold is going to go all the way up to the top of the neck. You know, as far up in there as you can go. And now where does it end? Well, we can zoom ahead to the next step to see. Next couple of steps. And as you can see, it's creating a little bit of a, an extra edge here. And this fold is not exactly vertical. So, and how do you know it's vertical? Well, it's hard to say what's vertical anymore. But just get that mountain fold in. Get it going inside just like that. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can kind of open up the paper a little bit. And get that valley fold going. Get it to go down. You want it to match on the other side as much as possible. And you're going to notice, so my beak still has a little bit of a pleat in it. And technically, this fold should get rid of that almost entirely. But it's okay if you've got a little bit in there, because no one's ever really going to see it. So get that fold going inside, and that completes that last step. So now, after 21, we're going to move to 22. And in step 22, we're just flattening the beak. This is a really easy step. All we're doing is just kind of pinching the beak closed. And this will come up and shape the head. So this is, you can do this to your own taste. But basically you're just pinching it like this. Trying to get the head to flatten down at the top a little bit. Pinching out like that. Now you can play with it a little bit and shape it however you want. But on the side, when you pinch it like that, it gets really thin. It looks really cool. It's just when you look at the top, it's like, oh, well, it's kind of a thick beak. So you could, if you really wanted to, kind of fold this in half like this and improvise and then fold it back down again. I'm really kind of pinching mine to get, I gave it a little tiny twist. It's not perfect in there, but I'm just kind of twisting it a little bit more and shaping this needle beak. That's kind of the signature thing with these hummingbirds. So this is optional. I'm just kind of shaping mine a little bit extra to get that beak extra sharp. Now the top is still flat, so I didn't accomplish what I really wanted to. I just put the twist back in there, so that's a little bit better. Side like that. Okay, so that's a nice little decoration on the beak. And we're almost done. So the beak is now complete, and if you take a look at the final model, it says that it's already complete. Now, I like to spread out the tail. Okay, so as you can see, it's such a beautiful model. But I feel it looks a little bit better if you kind of spread this tail out like this. Kind of open it up. You don't want to have it going up like that, but just kind of open it up a little bit. And if you choose, you can decorate the wings. You can put little creases inside of them. That's a nice little extra taste if you prefer. Completely up to you. But if you would like to do that, I can show you how. So basically, you would create what you want is the wings to kind of look like this. So you're going to create some folds. So you're going to come down a little bit and then go back up. That's hard to describe. So let me see if I can explain this. So you're going to create one fold going like this, and then the other is going to go the other direction. And it's going to create a point down here. So that when you open it up, it's got a little pleat, a little crimp fold like that. And you can repeat that again on the top. And again, this is completely optional. Don't need to do this. So as you can see, it just gives a little bit of shaping to the wing. Makes it look a little bit more decorative. See how I did that? So that's completely optional. I like it. It gives a little bit extra. It looks like, hey, that hummingbird actually is flying, or the wings are moving. So now the tricky part is matching it on the other side, doing the exact same thing. And it doesn't need to be perfect. Oftentimes wings are hard to get, perfect. In real life, they actually are symmetrical, so try your best to kind of line them up if you can. Go ahead and get those creases in there. All the way across just like that. And you get some nice shaping for that wing, as you can see. Mine are not symmetrical, but I think they look pretty decent. So there you can see the top. Just like that. Okay. And that completes our hummingbird. So I hope that was intuitive enough. I hope everybody was able to follow along. What we have coming up next week on Tuesday is a really cool cat. Let me grab the cat to show you here. It's a very beautiful cat. I'm a fan of it. Okay, it's a larger cat, as you can see, but it's very pretty. We're going to be folding this one on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Okay, so you don't want to miss that. And it's a very pretty one. It's 2 pieces of paper, and it does stand up, and it makes a very decorative cat. Okay, so there's 1 piece for the head and 1 piece for the body. So we'll do that on Tuesday. And if anybody missed it, we did fold last Tuesday, we folded a horse by Oriol Esteve. So this month is full of neat and interesting models. This month of June is dedicated to the intermediate folders, and then we'll be moving on to more advanced folds. So thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Minasan arigatou gozaimasu. Mite kurete arigatou gozaimasu. Mata ne. See you later. Bye bye.